What's going on, gang? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at Transformers The Last Knight Deluxe Class Steelbane. And I'm going to go on record in saying that this piece of garbage should never be bought. In fact, I'm pretty sure this thing should never have been made in the first place. Okay, that's a little bit extreme, but bear with me for a second. We're going to talk about the aesthetics of the figure first, and then we'll talk about everything that's wrong with it. The overall look of the figure is quite good. The paint is something we're going to be talking about, but I do like the effect that they've got going here. I love the textures that they have on the figure, especially in the chest, and I love that head sculpt. I think Steelbane's head sculpt is simply fantastic. It's a great looking figure. Okay, now let's get into some of the problems. Now, a couple of the other reviewers have talked about the paint. I find the paint to be fine, if not amateurish. What they're going for is what could be achieved with a wash. It's obvious that the paint on the figure is overall this gray color, but then has this weird tan wash over it. And I get what they're going for, but the figure appears to be smeared as opposed to washed. I don't know if every figure looks like this. This is the only one that I've seen, or the one that I have in hand, and my guess is the way they did this was they painted it very lightly and then had humans go back and rub off some of the paint, or maybe some machines did it. I don't know. The effect is supposed to be an aging weathered effect, though I don't think they succeeded in what they were going for. It doesn't really work all that well. I really wish my friend Chrome Tyranno or Cheetamus would get a hold of this figure and do it some justice. Maybe, I don't know, make it look good? Now, saying making it look good is, that's a little bit hyperbolic. I actually think it looks okay, but not real great. It's very, very amateurish. It would be like me trying to do a wash after not doing a wash for 10 years. So, yeah. The wings can extend. Unfortunately, the wing and the backpack are, well, as you saw, I just moved the figure and it's having issues. And you saw earlier that it was having issues. The ball joints all over this figure are so incredibly loose. The only time they show any rigidity is when the seams for that forming the ball joint and the actual sockets actually connect with each other. I've actually had the arms, if I've turned them in a certain way, they just fall off. They just flat out fall off. And of course, you know, now that I've got the figure in front of a camera, it's not going to do it. The arms on the back for the Werven mode, it is not a dragon, it is a Werven, are bad. The wings themselves are rather heavy, and these ball joints just do not have the strength to hold them up. Thankfully, the sockets aren't or don't allow that much posability, so they don't droop as much as you might think. Also, these pegs here up by the, what would be the ankles of the front legs, are pretty loose. They are strong enough to hold the wings in place, though, but if you start moving one of the wings, the other wing starts to move and droop as well. And the ball joints in the hips are garbage. Utter freaking garbage. I cannot believe that this figure was released in this state. I have seen other reviewers complain of the same thing. I've seen other viewers who have gotten, or other fans who have gotten a hold of this figure in the first release, or first wave of it, complain about the same thing. I just am astounded that this piece of garbage was released in this state. Steelbane comes with this sword that is actually really cool. I like this look. It's very similar to what a Damascus steel sword would look like today, or a bronze sword, or not even a steel sword, but one of the medieval swords, if it was dug up today, might look like, because, you know, weathering and aging and all that fun stuff. It's actually really neat looking. It would look even better, though, with a proper wash to cover all of the crevices with a, I don't know, maybe an Energon purplish paint scheme. That would be really cool. Before we get into the transformation, let's go ahead and take a look at his posability. If the ball joints were working 100% perfectly, then this is what we have to deal with. Head is on a very limited ball joint, but it is posable, so it can move side to side. And the head is a little bit off-center due to the way the figure transforms. Ball joint in the shoulder, swivel at the just above the elbow, ratcheting elbow, which bends quite a bit. Wrist articulation, though the Werven back claws are attached to the wrist, so when you move the wrist, it moves that. No torso articulation, but ball joint in the hip, a 90-degree bend at the knee, which is supposed to be ratcheting, but they just don't. Ball joint in the ankles, so you can get some good poses. Oh, I'm also sorry. There are ball joints here on the back of the claws, and a nearly 90-degree bend at the wing claw as well. So you can get some good poses out of this guy, but he's not going to stay that way. So dang it. Transformation for Steelbane is annoying. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and the directions are actually quite bad, but they do give you the general idea of what you're supposed to do. So, to start off with, we're going to take the arms, bend the legs, or bend the elbows 90 degrees, flip out the claws, like that, then flip the arms up, and then grab the shoulders and unpeg them from the sides of the robot mode, and flip them forward a little bit like that. When you do that, you can then push the head down and slide the entire front of the figure up. So he was like this, so then we pushed it up like that. Then we fold the shoulders all the way forward, as far forward as they will go. Unpeg the wings from the back and fold them out. Grab the leg that has the tail of the Werven mode, unpeg it, flip it all the way up like this. Now, this is a little bit of a contention because I'm not exactly sure which way to turn this. I'm guessing that it turns this way, so you have the upper thigh hanging above the robot head. And then once you do that, you then close the shoulders, and these peg slots on the inside of the shoulders will then collapse over the disc that the head is sitting on and that the upper leg section rotates on. So that holds that into place. Then we turn the foot so that the foot is pointing towards the back of the robot mode. Fold the foot down, grab the tail, and flip it out. And that becomes the Werven tail, to which then you can attach the sword somewhere along the figure here. You're supposed to be able to attach it up here somewhere, though it looks like it's supposed to attach under here more than anywhere else. So kind of like that. Kind of like that, though it doesn't really work all that well. Okay, so then we can pose the dragon claws whichever way we want to. And we can move the ankles, or what would be his knees, in dragon. I keep saying dragon. It's not a dragon, but we'll get it. More on that nerdery later. So we can do that. Now, for the head. Now, this is a little bit of a weird one, because all the... Now for the head of the beast mode. This is a little weird. So I've seen online that the beast mode just kind of rests like this, and then you flip out the head the same way you flip out the tail, and then turn it around like that. So it goes like that. But the torso can swivel now. So we can have it so that this section, the hip section, is underneath this skirt, and have it sit like that. But there's also this peg here. And this peg conveniently slots into this section underneath the front skirt. So is it supposed to go like that, or like this, and then kind of sit up like that? Because this is the way the directions look like it's supposed to go. But if we do that, then the wings here can't fold up correctly and sit oddly. So then do we take this whole section, unpeg it, and turn it so that the ball joint is pointing down? I'm not sure. The directions are rather unclear also, so that doesn't help either. Double check the directions just to make sure I wasn't being excessively stupid. So I do have the figure a little bit messed up here. So according to the directions, and according to some of my fellow YouTubers, the top of the figure is supposed to be like this, and then we get the wings down, and then we get the legs in position. Come on. And get the fists in position, and then get him posed into his very poor, lame excuse for dragon mode. Come on, you. Okay, and screw it. This is the best I can do, guys. I'm sorry. Everything I have tried just falls down. He's just a floppity mess. And if I tap... Yeah, there we go. If I tap certain parts too much or touch them, it just falls over. This is a bad dragon mode. What I said earlier about him being a Werven isn't totally accurate. Now, a Werven is a type of dragon, or it's a subclass of dragons that has large back legs, and then front legs are the wings. They're very much like giant bird lizards. They're not really dragons. Dragon, at least in my mind and according to D&D, is something that has 4 large legs, and then the wings are separate from the legs. Where a Werven, the wings are attached to the front arms. Just me being nerdy. The overall aesthetic of the dragon isn't very good. Head does have that weird blue color that is in the rest of the figure, and the dragon mode isn't very good at all. There's nothing filling in the dragon mode. He's just this large, gappy toy that's lanky and falling over, and oh man, this thing is crap. And I was really worried that it was going to be. This alt mode is terrible. The robot mode looks okay. It could do with some better paint. I'm sure customizers will take care of that, and obviously the ball joints need to be fixed. Man, there are so many other better dragons out there. Even Beast Wars Transmetal 2 Megatron is a better dragon than this. Galvatron from Beast Wars 2nd is a better dragon than this. Heck, all of the Predacons from Transformers Prime are better dragons than this. If you want to buy Steelbane, I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to even try to stop you. I will warn you that there are several things of this figure, or parts of this figure, or just aspects of this figure that are bad. Very bad, in fact. So, what would I recommend you pick up instead? Pick up Barricade. Barricade's fine. Pick up Berserker. Berserker's okay. Pick up Squeaks. Actually, Squeaks is a perfectly good figure. He has his flaws, but he's a lot of fun. Or the Squeaks figure is a lot of fun, that is. Anything but Steelbane. Oh, no, not anything. Avoid the Bumblebee. I think we've got enough Bumblebees out there. I'm not going to review Bumblebee. I'm not buying him. Sorry. Pick up Voyager Optimus. Voyager Optimus is definitely worth picking up. Steelbane, however, is a big fat no in the should you buy it category. Big disappointment. But if you feel like you want to get a hold of a figure that could use touch-up paint and some fixing, by all means get Steelbane, because Lord knows, or I should say Primus knows, he needs some fixing. So gang, I hope you have enjoyed this video review. As always, I'm Baltmatrix, asking you to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't buy Steelbane unless you absolutely want to fix a figure. I will catch you next time.